Okay, greetings everybody. Dave DeWalt here. I'm the founder and CEO of NightDragon. We're coming to you live from San Francisco. In fact, we're at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel at the top of Nob Hill, and it's at the APEC Summit, Asia Pacific Economic Coalition Summit here in San Francisco this week, which is really, really exciting. From all the nations that are here and visiting San Francisco this week. And wow, is the security amazing as well, as we've never seen San Francisco quite so locked down as we have before. But I do want to start out by saying it's amazing to watch the growth of Asia. And I'm sure you all know this, the economic growth, the digital transformations that we're watching throughout the entire region is phenomenal. And we've been doing a whole series here in NightDragon around the state of Asia, particularly from a cyber point of view, opportunities, challenges, things that are happening. And we've had a chance to do interviews from people from Japan, from Singapore, from Australia. And now we're very excited to have a special guest here today, who is Ivan Yu, who's the Secretary and Head of DICT, the Department of Information and Communication Technology. Ivan, thank you so much for joining me. Great to see you. We have the same flag on today. So excited for that, to wear my Filipino-American partnership flag. Thank you so much for joining. I know you have an amazing career and you've been involved with the digitization of the Philippines for some time and recently named to really run all of the ICT. Can you talk a little bit about what the mandate of the department is and what you're trying to accomplish as the leader there?
Well, thank you very much, David, for inviting us here. So the Philippines currently is going through a rapid digitalization program, and the department, which I lead as Secretary, Department of Information Communications Technology, has several mandates. One of which is connectivity, which ensures that, if those of you who don't know about the Philippines, we have more than 7,000 islands. So it's an archipelago in the southeast portion of Asia. So you can just imagine the challenge in connecting all those different islands. So many islands are isolated. They are in the digital divide. So we need to connect them in order to bring them on board the digitalization. Second is on industry development, where we need to build up our capacity. The Philippines is in competition with India, ranking either first or second in the business process outsourcing or business process management sector. So we have a lot of digital talents that's out there, and in fact, majority of the payroll of Wall Street is processed in the Philippines.
Yep.
So third is e-governance. So the mandate that we have is to transform government into an agile bureaucracy where government service can be done online on a single sign-on, single platform, where instead of people lining up to access a government service in the different departments, they can all do it from a mobile app. And so instead of people looking for government, it's now government delivering services to the people. So it's a significant paradigm shift in terms of governance. And of course, fourth is cybersecurity. As we all know, with all the digitalization and all the global developments that's going on, the threat landscape has also been evolving quite rapidly. And so we need to ensure that with our digitalization efforts in bringing to all these digital services, financial services online, that we have to ensure that the people's private information, the people's money are all in a secure environment where they can transact with peace of mind and with assurance that that there are safeguards that are put in place to protect them.
Secretary, it's so fun to meet you in Manila and come to your office. You're such a charismatic leader. I know you do a lot of marketing and also just hiring and culture and just it's fun to watch all the initiatives that you have as part of that. But let's talk a little bit about cyber, if we can, for a minute as well. Through an American's lens, we're watching what I see as the greatest threat environment that we've ever witnessed on this planet. Particularly from a digital point of view, we enjoyed many years of globalization, now creating a lot of balkanization or decoupling of nations and activities. The Southeast Asian market is a very hot spot area. Philippines is in the middle of all of that as well. Can you just take a minute and talk a little bit about, from your perspective, the Philippines and the threat environment? Because one statistic for all of you that I've been saying, Asia now represents 31%. So almost 1/3 of all of the attacks in the world are coming into the Asian market. So considering the Western world and the size of it, watching 1/3 of all the activity happening in Asia, and over 54% of the companies have experienced some sort of breach. So you now have more than half the companies getting a breach, 1/3 of the attacks happening, and you have a lot of activity that's occurring. And this is from a global lens. From your vantage point, looking from the Philippines out, how do you see the threat environment? And of course, I'm sure it's a bit ominous, but use your words a little bit to talk about the biggest risks and threats that you're seeing.
Well, the threats can only grow. So it's vital that governments, private sector, we need to collaborate in order to ensure that the threat actors are not ahead of the game, that we will run the narrative, so to speak, in the cybersecurity sector. As more and more economic development happens, especially in the digital arena, with online financial services, criminals, they just go where the money is.
Right.
So as more of our businesses move from brick and mortar to online, with e-wallets, with online digital accounts, with digital currencies, and so on, it's just a magnet. So cyber criminals, cyber threat actors see that this is a abundant resource to exploit, and so we need to really ensure that we secure it. We've seen increase in activities like phishing and even spear phishing using AI. Today, using artificial intelligence, they're now able to profile you and identify your relatives, your connections, your business dealings, and then actually target you specifically with email that really sounds so authentic,
Right.
Or even voice calls that use the voice of somebody you know, using the language, using your nicknames, and things that you would you really believe that these are authentic.
Don't tell me your dog's name, because that could be the password. Right now, I'm joking.
Right. So this threat landscape is increasing, and with the development of AI, it will just become even more sophisticated. So in the Philippines, we are doing a lot of training in order to build up our workforce to be cybersecurity knowledgeable. We are launching cyber hygiene programs for the common population, so that they're more aware of these threats in the horizon, and actually currently being used. We have just passed last year our SIM card registration law, which mandates all SIM card users to register, because that's one of the fastest mode of using the SIM cards or mobile phones for scamming. So once we launched that, there has been a significant reduction.
Great.
However, they moved to the platforms of other platforms, over-the-top platforms.
They're pretty smart too.
Right, they are. So we need to be smarter than them.
So as you think about cyber literacy that you alluded to, and potentially jobs and education in the Philippines, I really see a big opportunity, because the Philippines is such a great partnership with America. And there's an opportunity to really take advantage of this amazing talent pool that you have there, which is a pretty young talent pool, I understand as well. A lot of business process outsourcing occurred to the Philippines. A lot of cyber literacy is there. How do you think about maybe elevating that? I know you've done some even hackathon programs and stuff like that. Maybe talk a little bit about education and literacy.
Well, yes. Currently, the Philippines is competing with India to be either the first or the second in the business process management, business process outsourcing. So today we have about 1.54 million workers in the IT outsourcing industry. And these are workers that are tech literate. By the way, we have a very young workforce. The average age is around 25 years old. And the population is not technologically averse. We absorb, actually, we are probably first in line every time there's a new technology that comes out. When mobile phones were originally invented, we became the tech capital of the world. When Facebook came out with social media, we became the Facebook capital of the world. So now we are a very big crypto user in the world. And I think this is really just innate, I think, in the Philippines, among the Filipinos, being at home with technology. And so this provides a very unique opportunity that with a young tech-savvy population, we need to build up capacity in the cybersecurity area, where we would be able to now provide a working workforce that can address this growing gap of cyber threats and cyber criminality all over the world. So we're the outsourcing capital already for healthcare, for payroll, for call centers, for creative animation, graphics, and so on. So why not cybersecurity?
Absolutely, you can do it too. Last question for you. You have, in my opinion, an amazing president. President Marcos is not just really charismatic as well, but he's also very educated and literate in the worlds of AI, quantum, and cyber. And we've experienced that. So it's wonderful to have a great leader, I believe, as well, who's thinking about that. I'm sure you get some conversations with him on this, right?
A lot of conversations.
How do you think about public and private partnership as well? So being at the government, how do you start to think about private companies partnering? Here in America, public-private partnerships become a big part of the DNA. And Jen Easterly, who runs CISA, has really tried to create a coalition of private companies as well. Are these things that you're thinking about? I know you already have some of that. Maybe just spend a second on that.
Well, it's critical, the collaboration between the public and the private sector. Government cannot do it by themselves, and the private sector cannot do it without the support of government as well. So this involves in many areas of technology, whether we're talking about cybersecurity or even artificial intelligence or many of the other critical and emerging technologies. So we are open, and we welcome public-private partnerships in this area. We have liberalized our laws on PPPs, public-private partnerships, as well as our investment laws, in order to welcome more of these types of collaboration between. Actually, it's not just public and private; it includes also academia in the equation, because we're building up the training, building up all those learning modules would require also the academia's cooperation and collaboration.
Ladies and gentlemen, Secretary of the Department of Information and Communication Technology in the Philippines, Secretary Ivan Yu, thank you so much for coming. Great to get to know you, my friend, and good luck with your roles, and look forward to seeing you again in Manila next visit that we have.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.